So we are children of the sun. This what I'm showing here. I collect a lot of pictures. I must have like 30,000. And this is one I found. This young sister, um, at sunrise, and below her here is. Let me make it bigger. Is the boat of Ra. I kind of think that when people sing "When the Saints Go Marching In" or when that song "Swing Down, Sweet Chariot" and "Let Me Ride," they're referring to the boat of Ra. Here's Ra with the Neteru, and here is a per ah at the end riding with Shu, Tefnut, Geb, Newt. So Shu is the so Shu is air, Tefnut is moisture, Geb is earth, Newt is sky. This is Wasir. Some people say Asar. Generally, he's known today as Osiris. And this is Aset. You can always tell it's her because she has this throne in her glyphs, and or she'll just have the throne on her head, representing that you can't get on the throne except through the woman. And even in Wasir's name, he has the throne in there. And then this glyph, so when you see something like this is called a cartouche. There's a indigenous name for it that I can't think of. And this has this per Oz name in it. And so he has ascended and he's able to ride in the boat of Ra. And these two oars are Hu and Sia, authoritative utterance and exceptional insight. Children of the sun. We are children of the sun. All right. Let me make this. All right. So when we talk about everything is, let me back up. This is my grandmother, my father's mother, my paternal grandmother. This is we called her Gran. Her name is Cecilia Beatrice Arrington, and she would always say to me, "You are my sun, moon, and stars." So I'm dedicating it to her. Minister Makalisi, this is Minister Makalisi, and he's there in the sanctuary in Oakland. And he wrote this song, "We are children of the sun. In every task we shall overcome. We were first upon the earth, will be the last." That's the holy word. We were first to look at life and ask the questions why. We were first to hear and heed the answers of the Most High. So we sing this in church. And then the second verse is, "Now we face the faithful task here in this troubled land to resurrect our hearts and mind and build a mighty plan to build foundations for a people of the way. This work will surely test the genius of the race." So Minister Makalisi wrote this in 1984 and dedicated it to the legacy of Asar Chancellor Williams. All right. Grand Rising, Al Kabelon family. So when we talk about, the solstice and equinox and just everything is really based upon that. Autumn equinox, September 22nd, summer solstice, June 21st. It's actually showing Earth's orbit around the sun. Vernal equinox, March 20th. Winter solstice is on December 21st. And here, that's what this diagram is showing. The solstice and the equinox. And it's taught that the great year is something that involves a procession that takes 26,000 years. So you know, the pole, there's Draco and Alpha Draconis. This is the Big Dipper or Ursa Minor. Polaris, one of the brightest stars in the sky. And that's what this is representing with Hor or Heru. It's representing precession of the equinox. So here it is again. It's represented. So the shortest day of the year is December 21st. And so they say that the sun dies. Symbolically, the sun dies. So the sun goes to the lowest point as we're looking at it from the earth. And then it's like it dies. It spins, like after the 21st, it spins the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. It doesn't move. It doesn't appear to move. And then on the 25th, it begins to move back up along its processional back up north. And while this is happening, there's 3 stars in Orion's belt, and these in biblical terms are actually the 3 kings. And the star that they're following is the star Sirius. And during that time, this December 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, you see the Southern Cross. So the cross actually represents the phases of the sun. So you've seen this, particularly if you've seen Catholics. Excuse me, somebody wrote something in. All right. If anyone is interested in our Friday evening Pan-African study. All right, thank you, Keedy. So Keedy has put a link that we can visit him on the Friday evening Pan-African studies course. But getting back to this, so this is something that you see mostly in Catholic or Catholicism. You see this, but what it's really representing is the summer solstice, the spring equinox, the autumn equinox, the winter solstice. And here's what these things are really talking about. So our ancestors here in the middle, they put this is Wasir or Osiris or Asar. This Jed represents the backbone of Osiris or Wasir, and his sisters. They're using the Greek names Isis and Nephthys. Her name is Nebhet. Isis, the indigenous word is Aset. You can always tell it's Isis because she has this throne on her head. But anyway, and there's this cross. It's representing life. It's lifting up the sun. And then, but when we look scientifically, this is what it's talking about. The sun dies on the cross, the Southern Cross. It's reborn on the 25th. It's alignment of the 3 stars with Sirius. And so this is where all this comes from. And then later on, the Europeans drew it this way with Jesus on the cross and Mary, Mary his mother, and Mary Magdalene. In this representation, Stella Maris, or Maris sister. So this is really Mary and Mary Magdalene. All these things come from somewhere. So this is at least 1300 BC. This goes back to 3100 BC, and this picture is 100 AD. And here, even the Last Supper is symbolic. Have you noticed the pictures of the Last Supper? The sun is in the middle, and then it's divided up into 3 months of 4. So these 3 over here represent the spring, these 3, the summer. Here's the sun in the middle. It's 3 for the month of autumn and 3 for the months of winter. And this is the cross revealed. It's really talking about the 4 seasons. These little things within it are representing the seasons. Here it is revealed again. So here's a sun, petroglyph, the cross revealed. Even this caduceus symbol, the symbol for medicine, goes back to Kemet. And here you find this in the temple of Abydos or Abdu, where Jehudi is holding the 2 staffs with the serpents going down. He's giving life to the Pur-Ah. And at the top is this symbol of the risen sun with the 2 serpents on either side. And again, in Catholicism, this is what they're doing. They're representing the sun. The communion host bread is the same sun cross from ancient sun worship. So those that were Catholic, when they take Holy Communion and they give them this, they're really giving them the sun symbolically. The communion host bread is the same sun cross from ancient sun worship. In Psalms 84:11, it says, "The Lord God is a sun." And here we see a Kemetic version of that, and here is a Western version. In that cup, and there's the star, and here is the baby Jesus. Here again. So really, Catholicism is really sun worship when you break it all down and when you analyze it. And so that's why they have these symbols. Here are the different popes. They're showing you the sun. Here's Pope John Paul. He always looked evil. Pope Benedict. He always looked evil to me. And then this is the current. They're all holding the sun. And this book is written, "The Sun in the Church, Cathedrals as Solar Observatories." Now you see this. What is this here in the center? Anyone tell me?
Obelisk.
Obelisk. What's another word for it?
Tekhenu.
Tekhenu. And also the indigenous wisdom keepers call this symbol Ib-Ra, or heart of Ra. You know, because it's like a sundial. And the way that they have this drawn out, it's like the paths of the sun. And some of you may know this. I'm sure there are many of you that know this. Constantine, who's the father of Christianity, he's the one that changed the the um, the holy day from Saturday to Sunday. So Saturday represents what? What planet?
Saturn.
Saturn. Saturday is Saturn. That's the Sabbath. That was the Sabbath for the Jews. And then because the Romans were following after the ancient Kemites, he changed the holy day to Sunday. And there's this book, The Cult of the Sol Invictus, the Invincible Sun. That's what that means, Invincible Sun. And it talks about the sun cult up to the first century of the empire, political background, religious background. So there's a lot to this. Sol Invictus, Mithra. Here's another representation. Here's the Virgin Mary holding the sun. We are children of the sun. We're getting to that part. Let me stop here. Everybody still with me? Have I lost you? Yes. Any questions or any comments right now? Over.
I've heard that in the basement of that the Catholics have the original, ancient statues, Black Madonna and Child and all of that kind of good stuff.
Well, you know what? It's not in the basement. I mean, it's right out where people can see them. I mean, you have to go into where they are, but yeah, it's not really hidden. They have it out there, and there, I guess in the Pope's quarters, there's a Black Madonna. My mom was telling me about the Black Madonna. Yeah. So yeah, they worship the Black woman. Isn't that something? I mean, we're the denigration that happens with the Black woman, and the Pope worships the Black Madonna, the Black woman. That's I mean, okay, I'm not so surprised now because I've spent a lot of my life searching out these things. But boy, if I was like a teenager, like if I was back in like the 70s and I had found this out. Anyway, any other questions or comments? Or Mo, we're just sick of this,
Yeah. I was studying oh man, what's his name? Oh man, I was Dr. Esther J. Hillard lately.
Yes.
And then I was listening to him on a Lesterville Middleton show, and he was talking about the 12 keys to understanding ancient Kemet. On key number 9, well, let me back up. Key number 8, he talked about, let me see if I can remember. He said the key to understanding Kemet is the, well, let me go to number 9. Number 9 was that it was science. Number 9 was science-generated religion, philosophy, and general culture. He says it's important to recognize it was through the work of science that people became spiritual. We have it backwards. He said, when we look at the culture of Kemet, here's my notes I'm reading. He said, we look at the culture of Kemet, the basis of the culture was totally scientific. He goes on to say, when the Kemites expressed religion, what they was trying to do was to capture the essence of what they understood through scientific study. And that's some heavy stuff.
Yeah, no, it is.
And he went on to say that Free realized that the study of the natural world was a study of the spiritual world. Yes, I ended right there. But the master key number 8 was to understand Kemet, you have to understand symbolic and metaphorical thought. So that's what Minister Imhotep is explaining there. He's explaining scientific, what our ancestors understood through thousands of years of observation, and understood it scientifically, metaphorically, and symbolic thought. Anyway, that's it. Hey, thank you. This is a dynamite presentation.
Well, thank you, sir. Any other? I want to give people a chance that they want to jump in and say something, or I'll just go back to this because it's really kind of interesting when you think about it. We're practicing stuff that we don't really understand the origins of. For instance, like this is the origin of the Christmas tree. The origin of the so-called Christmas tree is Mithra. Okay, so this is among the Persians. Mithra, the sun goddess, Persian pine tree. So here, these are the original Persians. These brothers, they're froze and nappy beards. Here they are. Christmas pine tree originated in Iran as the Persian pine tree, and later came to Europe thanks to Germans who were fascinated by the Persian history. And then here, Mithra, sun goddess, Mary, Mithra, Persian pine tree. Gift bearers bring the gift of the Persian pine tree for Darius the Great. Then I found this little picture here. This is really what the Christmas tree represents, because you put a star at the top and you put all these bulbs, and these represent the planets and the universe. We're actually representing the universe when we're putting up a Christmas tree. All right. So now, let me make this bigger. So, and this is what I was explaining, Brother Keaty, Destruction of Black Civilization. So this is like one of our holy books. And in this book, here on page 122, talking about the first cataract, it's a section, it's called Children of the Sun. And I just highlighted this part. You all can go back and look at it later. They were children of the sun, blessed with blackness by the sun god himself, and thus protected from his fiery rays. They were his children. Their very blackness, therefore, was religious, a blessing, and a badge of honor. It's in the section of Children of the Sun. You know, where we've kind of like turned things around. Black is bad. You know, you don't want a black cat to follow you. I'm trying to remember Muta's poem. Let's see. It'll come to me later on. Let's see. How's it go? You remember?
You having a blackout?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, having a blackout. This poem shall speak of the wretched seas that wash ships to these shores, a mother crying for their young swallowed up by the sea. This poem shall say nothing new. This poem shall speak of time, time unlimited, time undivine. Yeah. Um, there's a song that a poem that Muta does on that. Okay, so this is the section where Minister Makalisi got the children of the sun. There's a lot more to it, but I just want to tell you where it is so that you can go and look it up yourself. So it's in the book Destruction of Black Civilization, in the section called The First Cataract. There are many different versions, so these page numbers may not coincide with your page number, but Children of the Sun, it's in the section called Children of the Sun, and you can read a lot more about it. But this was the main part. They were children of the sun, blessed with blackness by the sun himself, and thus protected from his fiery rays. They were his children. Their very blackness, therefore, was religious, a blessing, and an honor. All right. And then let me make this a little. So now in Kemet, in the northern section, is this city called Anu. But the Greeks called it Heliopolis. And it meant, helio was a Greek word for sun. Polis meant city. So the Greeks called Anu city of the sun. And this is how you would write it in Medu Neter. So here I found this, I found a couple of passages from Dr. Obenga. In the pyramid text, the second frequently used word with the determinative, there's the sun again, Hemmet. Allen translated as meaning humanity. So really, this children of the sun is actually could be meaning humanity, which does not reflect the specific true meaning. Faulkner's, he's naming all these different Egyptologists, Western Egyptologists. Faulkner's dictionary names it sun folk of Heliopolis. In later discussions, we shall see the original Heliopolis in the pyramid text is actually the sun city. Hence, the sun folks would be a better choice than humanity for Hemmet to represent people of the sun city as shown by the following examples. And so we have these examples here. Sun folks, and this is how you would write it. I have come for you as Horus messenger, for he has installed you, Father Osiris, son of Atum's throne, that you may lead humanity, sun folk. So there's a dichotomy of the way Westerners interpret it. Some of them say Hemmet means humanity. Some just say it means city of the sun. But we, again, we are children of the sun. And Dr. Theophile Obenga, in his book, African Philosophy, the Pharaonic Period, and here he is. Look at his study, Keedy. It's Dr. Obenga, surrounded by books. This is a great book, by the way. If you get this book, African Philosophy, the Pharaonic Period. And you know what? He has this picture. We talked about this Sunday. This is Hatshepsut's temple. Picture is carved right out of a mountain. All right. And so he says in here, this is in his book, and he has this Medu Neter writing, the gates of heaven open for you, the gates of the firmament draw apart for you, the same gates that shut out rebels, those gone before hail you, the sun people hail you. The everlasting stars rise for you. Your wind is incense. Your north wind is smoke. You are great in Thetis. You are the unique star that rises in the east and does not go to Horus of the Duat. Ah, you rising so high among the imperishable stars, you will never fade. And this is talking about when people make their journey to the other side, that they rise and become a part of the firmament. This is also in Abinga's book. He says, in effect, let me make that bigger so that you all can see it. In effect, the king, once purified, is resuscitated, metamorphosized into a star. You are this unique star. In this new identity, he must rise into the heavens to assume a stellar immortality by becoming a spirit of light. The deceased is transformed into a star. This is the pharaonic apotheosis. The destiny of the deceased as a star merges the dead person and the star into one entity, a star amidst the imperishable ones, the circumpolar stars, which, because they stay eternally above the horizon, are considered indestructible. I'm going to stop right there. Okay, have I lost you? Are you still with me? I can hear you breathing. If you take yourself off mute, is that like, Brother Emo? Why are you sharing that with us? We don't need to know that. What are you guys' opinion on that? Let me pause here.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Thanks for sharing.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. Good stuff, Emma.
Yeah.
I just want to know why you think we don't want to hear it and we still on here. What makes you think we didn't? What's up with that?
You know you know what, that is so true. Thank you for that. Yeah, that is.
And we come week after week to get this information. So we're with you. Thank you. Because we
done
can't
stirred up
all
this queen.
work on and study it like you do. So we definitely appreciate it.
You
All
done stirred
right.
up this
I
queen
just wanna
energy,
know.
man.
All right.
Hey, and the good part is that we can go back and look at it again.
Yes.
And what we missed this time, we can go back and say, "Oh wow,
If you send me a note, I'll send you this PowerPoint. You know,
okay,
and then you
okay,
got
that'll work for me."
yeah, and you guys can just get it that way. If you send me a note, I'll do that. All right, Minister Alicia, I got the love. Thandi Way, I just want to say that was a great video you made. I think we should use that every time we advertise for our when we're having in-person service. That was well done. Thank you for putting that together.
You're welcome. You're more than welcome to whatever content that I post. It's ours. It's not mine.
I understand that, but I'm just, you know what? So as I'm looking on here, not everybody does social media. Like for instance, I don't think Jabari does, and there are a number of people that don't. Like Saraswati, I don't think she does either, and so I just want to be able to get it into a form that I can put it on YouTube and I can send that link to people. So I need to figure out how to upload what you did to YouTube. I saved it. All right, cool. I will. I will, Sebastian. Yeah. Anyway, I saved it to my Facebook account, and now I got to figure out how to upload it to YouTube so that I can share it with other people.
Well,
Tony,
when-
do you do?
When you find out, you can share it with me. Because I just realized that I don't even post anything to our YouTube channel, Onyx Village Connection. One of the volunteers did it about a couple of years ago, and I think we only have like 2 videos on it. So I think I need to update it as well.
All right. Mariana showed me how to do that. Go ahead. I asked Tony a question, and then I'll take you, Damani. Tony, do you use social media? Just out of curiosity. You do? All right. Sort of. Yeah, a little. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead, Brother Damani. Go ahead.
Oh no, I find this stuff very interesting. I've been studying all the stuff you're going over, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Through the study of nature and science, our ancestors studied resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
They studied reincarnation and all this stuff. And I was just wondering at Jose. Now I know the Christians focus on Christ and the resurrection, right?
Yes.
And it seemed that our ancestors was focused on. You just said something about joining the imperishable stars. Our ancestors was also focused on the resurrection, to become like Harut.
Yes.
To resurrect again like a Sar.
Yes. Yes.
And I think we need to reiterate that more. Yeah.
I don't. I'm just going to tell people they need you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Somebody stop me. Let me get back to this. I can't help myself. All right. So here, this is in Obenga's. The Sun people, Himnet, also means humanity in general, acclaim the king, now potent in his stellar destiny eternally, as the star that will never fade, as can be read on the obelisk at Karnak, erected by Queen Hatshepsut. So that's great. And when you go to this pyramid, Pepe's pyramid complex, now I didn't get a chance to go to his pyramid complex, but these are the ruins of his complex here. And this is Pepe here. That's the way he looked. Again, a brother's got his nappy hair, looks like a black guy. So, and then inside his pyramid or perneter, you find all these words, and that's what it's talking about. It's talking about rising and resurrection, what Brother Damani just referred to. All right. Now, I'm Facebook friends with some people that I went to Kemet with a few years back, and one of them posted these 2 pictures. This is this is sunrise. This is what they do at Ipet Ishut, otherwise called Karnak. This is where this is the risen sun on December 25th. People gathered there and watched the sunrise there between these columns. Now, we are children of the sun.
Hey, what did Epidacit mean?
So that means most select of places.
Right. I was just testing you.
Good question, though. Good question. Yeah, it means most selective places. So here, the winged sun disk of Kemet, and all these are copycat. So this is the winged sun. I really like this symbol. I might get a shirt and put this on here, just for me. But Chrysler has it, Wingstop, Bentley, Harley Davidson, Genesis, this church, Air Jordan. And let's see, what is that saying here? Let me see if I can read this. This is why you are so hooked on these products they give you. This is why people of color are the biggest consumers. They use the most powerful symbols of your ancestors. This is just a small example. Once you become aware, no longer allowing yourself to become a slave, wake up. Objects are not important. They will never bring you true happiness. They can only bring you temporary happiness. True happiness comes from within when you realize your true nature.
That Chrysler 300.
And a Chrysler, yeah, you can get a Chrysler 300. Bentley, Genesis. What's this one? Mini. What car is that?
There's the Mini
That's
Cooper.
a Mini Cooper.
Yeah. So the sun people, we are the sun people. It's in our DNA to shine. And then I couldn't resist but keeping this one. Someone said, if Superman gets his power source from the sun, then wouldn't he look like this? You know, if you're familiar with the science fiction story of Superman, the reason why he's so strong is because of our sun. Now, just getting on to the scriptures. So, Brother Keaty, we use the Hosea. It's one of our main holy books. And in the book of Vindication, number 15, page 17, it says this. And we all should really adopt this one. I shine like Ra daily. I establish truth and expel falsehood. I open the doors which are in the abyss below. I am this friend of Ra, weary with wounds. I am given strength through wisdom. I have found the ferry boat which was lost in its floodwaters, and I have brought it to land. I have gone forth in it, and I have ferried across. I have directed my feet to the right place. I have extended my arms. I have established rule in the heavens and taken possession of the earth, and the exalted ones of heaven are pleased by it. That's profound. They should make a song out of that. That should be a rap song, huh? That should be a more like a reggae song. Right, Keaty? That should be a reggae song, huh? Some of these lyrics in here. So again, kind of finishing up the boat of Ra, Ashe, and thank you. All right, so I'm gonna somebody put something in the chat. I just want to see. Yes, he would. Thank you. Yes. So so that's Children of the Sun, and let me send it now to you all. Let me look and see who's here. And
I'm here, Minister Imhotep. This is Judy, Sister Judy.
Sister Judy.
I'm on JD's phone. I'm sorry, we're out, and I know I had voted for Children of the Sun, and I do apologize. We had company in town.
No, you don't have to apologize. So Damani, is that Damani 40 Pacific Net? Is that your that okay? All right, and then Keaty, I'm gonna send it to you.
That's packbell.net.
Keaty, which one should I send it? Should I send it to the info at Chef Keaty or Keaty at Chef? Which one, or either one? It doesn't matter.
Either one, both of them all around.
Okay, and then okay, Tony, you get Tony here. All right, Jabari. That's Jabari Jahi01 at Gmail.
Right.
Okay. Let's see who else is here. Sebastian. Okay. And
Judy.
Right. Hold on.
Okay.
All right.
I know I'm in punishment.
I'm getting.
I apologize. for not getting here earlier.
You know what? I don't have Willie's. I don't have Willie's. Willie, if you want to put your email in the chat.
He did already.
You did? Okay.
Yes.
All right. And let's see. I thought Amin Quasi. Right. Sorry to take up this time. Any other things we'd like to discuss? What we just did. We're going to go to another presentation. Alicia, see Alicia there. Saras.
I like that you've been studying this stuff for the majority of your life. And with all those pictures, he's just got files upon files of PowerPoint.
Yeah, we know. We appreciate it. You know,
Yes,
he's
we
the one
do.
where you say you want to make a song about it. You say you want to see a video about it. We love it, though. We love it.
That's funny. All right. Okay, I think I got. Oh, Darnisha.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to. Which one should I send? Darnisha Wright at Yahoo.
That's me.
Okay. All right. I think I got everybody.
Andy Way?
Oh, and Judy. Okay, Judy. All right. So,
Greetings, Darnisha, you're back.
Yes, ma'am. Back in the good old US of A.
Are you gonna do a video for us at some point?
I'm sure I will probably get scheduled at some point. I don't know who's doing scheduling, but yeah, I would love to present whenever there's space.
well, let's get together. Let's work on that. All right. So, go ahead, Brother Damani. Brother Damani has his hand up. Go ahead, man.
Hold on, real fast. On this DVD here, this is Out of Darkness, Heavy as the Crown. And the chapter on netters, Taj Tariq Bey, he points out something interesting dealing with the sun. And Anthony Browder points it out too. He say when the first golden age, when the sun was on high, they called it Ra. Oh, let me back up. He said, why did we use amen at the end of our prayers? He said, most people in the church don't know that the word amen comes from the word Amen Ra. In the first golden age, they called the deity Ra. In the second golden age, they called the deity Amen, and then they connected Amen Ra. He said they're talking about transits of the sun. He said when the kings and queens, the valley of the kings and the queens was on the left side, on the west side of the Nile, just like on the Potomac River on the west side of the.
You almost said you almost said the Potomac.
West side of the Nile. And on the west side of the Potomac, you have Arlington National Cemetery. And so Anthony Browder points out when the sky gets dark every day, the sun moves to the west. And when the sun sets, they call it Amen. And so what we buried our ancestors on the west coast of the Nile, and they was following Amen to the beautiful west. Then they go under the earth through the Duat, and every day they rise as Kepra, the Beta, bring her into being. So this is dealing with different facets of the sun. So the word Amen deals with different facets of the sun. That's my point. Anyway, thank you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Let's go to the aim of an African-centered education. Let's just look at that. It's 6:06. You guys want to go to like 6:45? Okay. I could just go on. You know what I mean? But I don't want to. I don't like to bore people. All right. Let's see. Is this it? Yeah. So this is I kind of have Damani in mind when I when I'm presenting this one, because I know that he's a person that studies the work of Dr. Asa Hilliard. So Dr. Asa Hilliard, this is him, and the picture on the right, he's on this brother Lesterfield Middleton. I don't know if you all are familiar. He used to have a show, and he would have a lot of great scholars on his show. He's since joined the Ancestors, but you could look for him on YouTube, Lesterfield Middleton. And Dr. Hilliard would be one of his frequent guests. And so this is Dr. Hilliard. He passed on a number of years, and he's the one that really told us about, he's the one that revealed the book Stolen Legacy. It was on the shelf of a historically Black college professor, and he happened to be in his office, and he spied the book, and he opened that book, and he thought it would be great for us as African people. It was written in 1954. They republished it. Julian Richardson and Marcus Bookstore republished it in 1976. And so that's why we have the book Stolen Legacy. Now, this is what Dr. Hilliard says. The aims of an African-centered education is to answer the questions for ourselves. Where am I? What time is it? And who is my family? Where am I? What time is it? And who is my family? So he says an African-centered education will tell you who your friends are, who your people are, who other people are, and what is my story. He said this at the ASCAC conference. It was at Laney College in Oakland. I was taking notes that day. This was in the 80s. And I wrote this down. I was able to keep that notes, and I put it in this PowerPoint. It says, African-centered education will tell you who your friends are, who your people are, who other people are. What is my story? So what is my story? There's a cultural unity, people who are linked together by cultures. He says the impact of Africa on other cultures. And then he kind of jokingly said, beware of Greeks bearing philosophy or mythology. And he says, our story is our Holocaust story, or Ma'afa story. Anybody know what that word Ma'afa means?
Terrible occurrence.
Yes, disaster or terrible occurrence. It's Kiswahili, and let me just pause here. You know, sometimes ministers don't use all holy words, and sometimes if I'm around the fellas, you know, some close friends, I might use the MF word. I'm proposing that Ma'afa be the new MF word. I'm proposing that Ma'afa be the new MF word. You know, the Ma'afa this, the Ma'afa that. All right, let me get back to sharing. You guys know I'm crazy. Oh, okay, we already did that one. Where did he go? Not the destroyers. Oh, here we are. No, did I lose him already? Let's see. Did I close this? Children of the sun, beware the destroyers. Try. Let me open. Okay, here we are. Okay, so these are our stories. We're there's a cultural unity of people in Africa. They're linked together by cultures. Look at Africa, the impact of Africa on other cultures, and then beware of Greeks bearing philosophy and mythology. And then there's our Holocaust story or our Ma'afa story. Then there's the story of our resistance. You know, we just didn't accept what was done to us. There's a great story about our resistance. There is creativity, the story of our creativity, people history, more than kings and queens. And you know what? I understand people want to say, you know, they want to call each other kings and queens, but we need to remember that it was kings and queens that got us here. You know, and so the story is more than just individuals. For instance, Martin Luther King, as great as he was, would have looked ridiculous standing by himself against Bull Connor and all the rest of the racists. So it was the people coming together. And that's what we should focus on. And this is what Dr. Hilliard was saying. He said, we must know the story of the story. We must put things in context in which the facts are situated. And then he says, no African story that plays off the European story. These are the books that he wrote. So Saba, The Reawakening of the African Mind, The Maroon Within Us, Selected Essays of African American Association. What is Quality Childcare? That's one I don't have. The Teachings of Ptahhotep, the oldest book in the world. African Power, Affirming African Indigenous Socialization in the Face of the Western Wars. 50 plus essential references on the history of African people. The True of Voice, the Poetry of Lester Felt Middleton. So these are, I think he might have some more books, but these are the books that I have right now. And let me make this smaller. And so he introduces Stolen Legacy to us, and that's Professor George G.M. James. This is his introduction. And sometimes we use this as a scripture. This is like at the beginning of Stolen Legacy. He says, mental bondage is invisible violence. Formal physical slavery has ended in the United States. Mental slavery continues to this present day. This slavery affects the minds of all people, and in one way is worse than physical slavery alone. That is, the person who is in mental slavery will be self-contained. Not only will that person fail to challenge beliefs and patterns of thought which control him, he will defend and protect those beliefs and patterns of thought virtually with his last dying effort. He wrote that in 1976. That is just as true today as it was then. It was, you know, it's just been true. And some of you may know people like this, might be in your own family. You know, and then if we continue on, so let's see. So this is George G.M. James. You can look this up, his biography. I'm going to skip that part. And then I want to go to Dr. Carter G. Woodson, and you can look up his biography. But this is what Dr. Carter G. Woodson says in his book, The Miseducation of the Negro. He says, no systematic effort towards change has been possible. For taught the same economics, history, philosophy, and literature and religion which have established the present code of morals, the Negro's mind has been brought under the control of his oppressor. The problem of holding the Negro down, therefore, is easily solved. When you control a man's thinking, you don't have to worry about his actions. You don't have to tell him to stand here or go yonder. He will find his proper place and stay in it. You do not need to send him to the back door. He will go without being told. In fact, if there is no back door, he will cut one for his special purpose. His education makes it necessary. Let me pause here. I know you guys don't agree with that. You don't know anybody like that. I know. It's yeah. Come on, let's get some discussion here. Let's open it up right now for discussion.
Well, that's the same thing that was mentioned in the Willie Lynch letter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those things are self-perpetuating.
Mm-hmm.
Indoctrination.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still being indoctrinated. We're still there. We're every day, you know. We talk about it every day. We do it every day. It's there. And we need to see how we can break away from it, you know, and get out of that matrix. And you know something, I did see that it was an African-American woman that actually wrote The Matrix. And what was the other movie?
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Yes. Yes.
Sophia
A
Stewart.
black woman. Yes. She
Sophia
did The Matrix.
Sophia Stewart was exposed as a fraud.
Oh, was it?
Oh, yeah.
She was. So it didn't, she wasn't?
No,
She didn't
no.
write it? Okay.
No,
I
she
saw
didn't.
that a couple of times. Well, thank you for putting my shoes on, Brother Keating.
If you need evidence, I have an extensive recording. I mean, she was interviewed. I interviewed her once, and she was interviewed several times on LIB radio by some of our other co-hosts. After my first interview with her, I refused to interview her again, but didn't block other people from interviewing her.
Wow. Wow.
So who did write The Matrix? Was it was of the other?
The Walensky brothers, apparently.
Interesting.
That's interesting. See, this is what you find. That's why we're meeting, sisters and brothers. We're exchanging information. You know, Sugar D's in Virginia. Oh, by the way, you know, our brother here, Carter G. Woodson, he's from Virginia. You knew that. Yeah. But I mean, we're able to. Okay, Keaty's. Where are you again, Keaty? You're in Vegas, right?
That's right.
Keaty's in Vegas. You're in Virginia. Tony's in Texas. Thondiway's in East Palo Alto. Some of us are here in Sacramento and Elk Grove, and some of us are in the Bay Area. But we're all together to learn, and that's the purpose of Black Knowledge Matters. You know, that's the reason why we're having it. Any other observations? That I really like that one. You know, if people don't, and I meet people all the time. I can't tell them because they'll just fight me down, and I just don't feel. But I meet people that cut their own back door, that go to the back door without being told. Have you ever met somebody like that? It's just really like you want to just take your drink and throw it on them. You know, like wake up. You
Sister,
you see it all the time. Go ahead, Sebastian.
Sister Marimba Ani does a good job of laying out that blueprint in Yurugu.
Yes. You know what? I want to say this, and I hope it takes a certain. Yurugu is not an easy book to read.
Oh no.
You really
do that in group with the group.
You really gotta want. Maybe we should do that. But you really gotta want to read Yurugu and read sections, because it requires really a critical analysis to read that book Yurugu. Go ahead, Damani. Go ahead.
Okay, real fast. One day, Minister Imhotep, you got to cover. When was the temples in Kemet closed? you know, with the Persian invasion, we never recaptured control of ancient Kemet. And then with the Persians and the Romans and all the temples closed. And what I'm getting at is Dr. Ray Higgins, he has a dynamite YouTube video of the council that created Jesus. And then this council, he talks about why it was so important to demonize, to well, you know, let me back up. You know, you got all the church ethics of the Roman Catholic Church, the Council of Nicaea, the Council of Ephesians, and the Council of Chalcedon. And they closed the window on African spiritual wisdom, and they made sure, you know, Dr. Ani points this out, make sure, you know, they come up with the words of satanic, demonic, to refer to satanic, demonic, polytheistic. They come up with all these derogatory terms to describe African spiritual wisdom. And that's suck into the minds of our people. Whenever they see any images coming out of ancient Kemet, they immediately think that is satanic, because they've been programmed to think that it's satanic and demonic, and all those words.
Yes, yes. That's a very good point. Anyone else? Hey, Jabari, what do you think, man? What's going on? What do you think? What do you think, sir?
Well, I'm listening and gaining a lot of knowledge and thoughts that I will, from other people, that I think are really relevant, and which is actually helping me further with my thoughts and thinking, because I need that kind of I need the insight and the knowledge of other people to help me pursue righteousness. And I think that what I heard from all of the people is really great to be involved in a group that's dealing with us as a people and our thoughts and our wisdom that many times we don't explore. We have the core, we have the base, but many times people like myself, I included, really don't explore it to the extent that we make it just part of our life, you know. So it's experience for me to be with you and hear your thoughts and comments. And it really brightens my day and furthers my knowledge and education. And I hope to continue to join you.
All right, I hope so too. And I want to thank Asata for helping you to come and join us today.
Right. Yeah. Thanks to Asata.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
He's being pretty modest. He's being pretty modest too, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Right.
You guys. He's a very heavy guy, and yeah, he is. I'm glad that he's like he is. He's one of those good old Aquarius people like my mom, you know. So yeah. All right.
Blessings.
All right. I'm going to keep on, unless there's some other point that someone would like to make.
I just wanted to, something just came across my mind. Let me
Yes. Uh-huh.
So I was thinking about when you were saying, I was thinking about when you were saying that if, well, that you were quoting, if somebody doesn't, if there's no back door, then that person will cut the back door open. And then that type of mentality of the people that would do that thing. And then I was thinking about one of our 10 virtues that says, I will have faith in my ability to assimilate the truth. And I was connecting that with when Oprah always says, when you know better, you do better.
Mhm.
And I've always thought that that's not always true, because people who get information, they have to be able to accept the information that they're getting. They have to be able to have faith that they will be able to assimilate that information within their body so that they can wield that information. Because if they don't have that faith, if they don't have that courage, because sometimes, or a lot of times, the information that we receive, it takes courage to believe it. It takes courage to accept it. It takes courage to assimilate it, and it takes faith. Because the mainstream of people are telling you different.
Yeah.
But when you start to hear the truth about who you are and about what your history is, about what you've been going through, you cannot allow yourself to go cut a back door. So, but that takes courage, not to be like,
Yes.
I'm gonna go stay in my place. It takes faith to say, I know the truth now, and you're not gonna subjugate me. And so I was just, as we were talking, I was kind of thinking about that, about how that ties in. Knowing better and doing better, there's that middle part that our ancestors gave us about having faith in ourselves to assimilate and wield the truth. Because we can hear the truth all day, but if we don't accept it,
Yes.
then it's just words. It's just things behind in the back of our head, So that's all I was thinking about. That's all I had to say.
Well, you and
those are beautiful, beautiful thoughts. I mean, you really nailed it. I mean,
Yeah, nice,
thank you
great.
so very much for that. Thank you.
You know what? You and Damani are on the same thing, because the next paragraph says this. Says the same educational process which inspires and stimulates the oppressor with the thought that he is everything and has accomplished everything worthwhile, depresses and crushes at the same time the spark of genius in the Negro by the way, he wrote this in 1933, by making him feel that his race does not amount to much and never will measure up to the standards of other people. The Negro thus educated, is a hopeless liability of the race.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
This is in the miseducation
Right.
Negro. This is in the miseducation of the Negro. So as we keep going, so Asa Hilliard breaks everything down. African people created the first civilization, and we could go to that link and find out. He says African people are the first people on the planet, and then okay, we see that there. Cultural unity, people who are linked together by cultures, impact of Africa on other cultures. Beware of Greeks bearing philosophy and mythology. Our Holocaust story, our Ma'afa story, the story of our resistance, creativity, people history, more than just kings and queens. And then, if Anthony Browder in his book, what is his book now? I can't think. Now Valley Contributions to Civilization. He has this evolution of the alphabet. How we started here in Kemet and went to Rome. How these symbols evolved. And then it shows how, now this isn't in his book, but this is another thing, how things came from the hieroglyphics, went down to the Canaanites. Well, really starts over here, goes over there, goes down to the Canaanites, to the Greeks, to the Hebrews, to the Etruscans, Aramaic, all that. Now, this is one of my favorite books. And you know what? This book is not very thick, but it's really profound. Ancient Egypt and Black Africa. And then here's Dr. Obenga with Shenkata Diop, his mentor. And this is when he revealed this, Sebastian, that time, that was like a drop the mic moment. When he said the compound word philosophy does not have an etymology in either Indo-European or Greek. He said there is nothing comparable of philo in any Indo-European language. In other words, it can't be explained in Greek and is not a Greek word. I'm telling you, I was floored. I almost fell over when he said that. And then
He stayed on it for a little while too.
Yeah. And then he went on to say, because philosophy is broken up into two words, philo and Sophia. And Sophia is supposed to mean wisdom, right? So he says, therefore, we have Seba, to instruct, to educate, to learn. Go way back to the pyramid text. Sebayut means teaching. He says, so taking into account all the proceeds, Egypt, the cradle of medicine, research into things of nature, of wisdom, of mathematics, it is not so incredible that the Greek word sophos, whose origin is neither Indo-European or Greek, should be derived from the Egyptian Seba or Sebi. So like when you hear that word, Dr. Sebi, that's what he's referring to. And then he goes and explains how the Egyptian B is transcribed into the Greek PH. I was floored when I first heard that. I was like, wow. This is how you would write Seba or teacher. Again, look at that. We were talking about children of the sun. Look at what the Seba, right in this word, is the star. It means star or gateway or teacher. And a teacher is a gateway. A true teacher is a gateway. Okay, when we talk about the Hebrews, these are the early Hebrews. This is how they looked. Dreadlocks and froze. And you know what? Europeans know this. This is in the British Museum. These are the Canaanites. Where's Canaan? Somebody tell me. Where's Canaan now? Hello?
That's
Somalia.
the Fertile Crescent.
Somebody said Somalia. Somebody said Fertile Crescent. You know where it is?
Israel.
Palestine.
Palestine, right.
These are the original Palestinians. These are the Canaanites, and these are the Hebrews. So whose land is it? Even when you look at the Assyrian king, look at his features. Now, Tefnudi, I know we got into this a little, Brother Damani. So the indigenous wisdom keepers teach that this is not a man, that this statue is actually a lot older than what we have been told, going back maybe perhaps 54,000 years. When you compare the features with this sister, let me make it bigger. You compare the features with this sister, This is how it looked, like this sister. All right, I'm going to wind up a little bit. So this Ankh is found in South Africa. What did Dr. Hilliard say? There's a cultural unity of Black Africa. So here, this Ankh, going back to a metropolis in South Africa, we find this good. And wait a minute. And what does it look like? It's the Ankh, the key of life in the sun. You know, there wouldn't be no life on this planet if it wasn't for the sun. This is these are some ancient walls in South Africa. Okay, you know, I have a particular thing on Atlantis. Is Judy still on? Judy, are you still on? I guess she left. Judy sent me a note earlier this week asking about a map. Here's an ancient map. People talk about Atlantis and everything. So there's this place in the Sahara. It's called the Eye of the Sahara. This is it from space. It's 25 miles across. It's used as a landmark by astronauts since the space age. This is a modern representation of it. This is where it is on the continent. And here, this is the world according to Herodotus. Look where they put Atlantis, right here at that same place. Again, Atlantis. The Atlantic Ocean. This is Zeus. This is Zeus. This is Memnon. And again, they don't like us. They don't like these features. Now, they say, well, the reason why these noses are missing is because they were trying to keep him from not breathing. But they don't mind if this one breathes or if this one breathes. Their noses are still on. Let me make that. Oh, and then, now this will show you how old Africa is. I don't have time to go into it in depth, but there is a place in Gabon. It's a place called Oklu, where they found a nuclear reactor. What they say is, well, this is a natural occurrence, but there's no other place like that in the world. A nuclear reactor. This is where it is. Melted rock from the heat of fusion action has been happening, which happened billions of years ago. This is Gabon right here. All right, we talked about this. This is the origin of the caduceus symbol. This is found in the temple of Abdu or Abydos. Here's Tahuti holding the two staffs with the serpents going on it. And this is the origin of the caduceus, the medical symbol that we have now. I don't really need to explain this, do I? Look at that. On the dollar bill and other places is your symbol. All right, and I'm going to stop there. All right. I'm glad that you all could stay with us at 6:42. I said we would go to 6:45. Should we continue? Should we have another one of these next Wednesday? What do you think? Sure.
Yes.
Darnisha, would you be up for telling us all about your trip next Wednesday? You're muted.
Lost my controls there. Yes, I could do that next Wednesday.
You can? Okay. All right. Well, we'll publicize you. Send me a couple of pictures that we can make for the flyer, and we're glad that you made it back. How long were you gone?
Almost 5 months. I left the 1st of April. So April, May, June, July, and then I came back towards the end of August.
All right. All right. But did you and Rudy ever meet or hook up?
We spoke on the telephone, but I think it was kind of later in the trip. And what was happening? I was like, I was far from Accra, and I think he's close to Accra. So we didn't get together this time, but we'll make sure that we connect next time I'm there.
All right. Well, great. Rudy's back here. He's in New York now. I just saw.
Right. And then I looked up, I think I did. I was thinking of calling him on my way through when I was going to the airport, but then I realized he's here in America. So
yeah. I think he's going to be here for a little. I think he's going to come back to the Bay Area, but I don't know his itinerary fully. But I don't think he's going to go back that soon. Anyway,
well, I ended up connecting, working quite a bit with the sister Nanette, who is a Ileamade parent. It's just amazing the way the world is so big and so small at the same time. So did a lot of work with Nanette, spent a lot of time with her. She had a number of children who went through Ileamade. So it's a small world.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah. Spent a lot of time with Kwame Natoto, who was a brief Oakland member. He took my son to meetings twice a week. So yeah, the family extends even when you are far from home. This Ileamade was a family. It continues to reach out and embrace you wherever you're at. So
that's right. All right. Well, I want to thank you, my friends, for joining us. I want to thank the Conscious Rasta for coming in with us. And I want to thank Brother Damani and all of you. Jabari, you've brightened up our day. It's always great to see you. I came by a couple of Fridays ago, but what Doris said today, we need to schedule a time to go see Jabari. So soon come, probably call you tomorrow, see what your schedule is like, and
Very well. Thank you. Thank you.
One announcement.
Yes.
This Monday coming up, we're going to have it's for the time for the elders and community. Meeting. Everybody's invited. You don't have to be the quote unquote the elder, but for Sacramento. So it's going to be at what time does it usually start? 6 o'clock your time. And 9 o'clock my time and 8 o'clock your time, Sister Tony. So all is welcome. Please come. And I just got two emails that I didn't have, so you will be invited. Brother Sebastian, I don't know, Baba Sebastian, I don't think I have your email address, but I'll get it. Have you been on the list?
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for coming. Guidance and protection. What a beautiful smile, Tony. All right. Take care. Live up. Oh, should we meet tomorrow, SOS? I've really messed up for the August month. I started on the second Thursday instead of the first Thursday, and then I'm going to be there. So tomorrow, SOS, 6 o'clock Pacific time, and we're going to talk about some scriptures. All right. All right. One love, one heart, one God, one aim, one destiny. Live up.
Well,
Live up, everybody.
Live up.
Blessings, blessings.
Blessings, Mama and Gina. Thank you for coming. Thank you. All right. See you, Jabari. Live up.
live up.